Hey everyone, as I just mentioned at the end of the last video, I had to split this video on cryptocurrency into two parts. So this is part two of the cryptocurrency video, going over my personal recommendations on wallets, exchanges, and coins that I like, that I think are good for getting into the market and getting some exposure into cryptocurrency. So please, take some time, watch this video. If you enjoy it, like, share, subscribe, as always. Helps me kind of just grow the channel and build a little bit of a following. So hope you enjoy these. So we'll go ahead and move on from now, or for now, and we'll get into, like I said, my favorite part, which are my personal opinions and recommendations, obviously. Anyway. All right. And we're going to start here with personal recommendations. Like I said, none of this is actual investment advice. These are just platforms, programs, exchanges, wallets that I have experience with that I would personally recommend to anyone trying to get into crypto. And we're going to start with wallets. Crypto wallets that I'd recommend. And some of these are exchanges as well. And number one on the list, we're going to start from the top and work our way down. Number one on our list is going to be a program and a software and a wallet called Ledger. If I can spell. Let's try that again. Ledger. And Ledger is actually incorporated and integrated with an exchange called Coinify. Ledger is my favorite wallet. It's my primary wallet. It's what I use for just about everything. Reasons I like it. So number one, it is a cold storage wallet. So that means it's kept offline, right? And just for the purposes of explaining a little bit, cold storage wallets oftentimes come with sort of an extra layer of security, right? So for example, my Ledger account comes with this little physical key, which looks a lot like a USB. And so what you do is you just attach this to the computer. You log into your Ledger account, right? You still have an account on the computer. You log into, attach this to the computer. It's going to ask you for a little passcode on the screen. And you enter that passcode and you're allowed to make transactions and stuff. So you can log in and look at your account, but if you ever wanted to move, sell, buy, do anything through your cold storage wallet, you'd have to have access to this physical key. So it does provide, I suppose, one more level of security. You would have to have access to this key and the code that's inside my head, aside from just accessing my account, in order to actually get in and do anything. So that's one of, I guess, the big reasons why I really like cold storage. And I guess the other reasons why I really like Ledger in particular, the software that they have is super user friendly. It's incredible software. It looks kind of and works just like any regular old investment app that you would have on your phone or your computer that you probably already use. Super easy to get into. And if you do end up having issues, Ledger's customer support is the best that I've ever seen, best that I've ever worked with. In fact, their customer support is just outstanding. Man, I'm having trouble writing today. Which goes a long way for me in particular, right? For example, I even have a ticket out right now with Ledger, just because I had some issue with getting one of my loans through. Not a big deal, right? It's something that they've been working on now for about the last week, but they make me feel like I'm taken care of, like I'm taken seriously, like my time matters, and like something's actually being done about whatever's wrong. So this issue is currently with I guess their engineering team, just taking a closer look at the blockchain and kind of what's going on in the protocol. But like I said, it was a one-off issue that came up randomly one time. I emailed their customer support once about it, and within a day we were off and rolling. And I've been working with them for about a week now. It is what it is, right? Technical problems take time to solve. But the fact that they had someone there ready to answer my question was really appreciated from a customer standpoint. And I guess the last reason why I really like Ledger is its integration with Coinify. And Coinify is one thing I guess I noticed in the last time I bought Bitcoin, last time I made a purchase, just a couple weeks ago actually. I looked at the receipt and it lists how much I bought, and then it had network fees and set network fees at 0, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And just below that, they had what they called an exchange fee. And they had a little note below that said, Coinify has covered your network fee in exchange for this exchange fee, which instead of having, a $10 to $20 network fee, I only had a $5 exchange fee. So that was a pretty cool little caveat that sometimes Coinify will cover your network fees for you in exchange for, like I said, a flat rate $5 exchange fee, which is almost always lower than your network fee. Perfect. And then moving on, like I said, Ledger is 100% my favorite. Number 2 on our list, though, and I have it at number 2. I don't actually have any personal experience with this. This is just based on what I've heard and what I know about them, but it's Coinbase, which is just an exchange. Reasons why I would recommend Coinbase, though, to anyone just getting into crypto. It's the largest exchange out right now. So it's the biggest, which, some people want to avoid big corporate exchanges, whatever, that's fine. But because it's the biggest and, whatever size doesn't matter, that's not entirely true. It definitely does, especially when it comes to things like financial institutions. Because it's the biggest, oftentimes they're going to have better customer support. They're going to have even sometimes a system set up for new customers coming in or people who just want some exposure to the market. So that's why I have Coinbase at number 2. It's just because they're the largest. I don't have any personal experience. I've heard a lot of mixed reviews about them. But like I said, a lot of times size does matter. And number 3, let's see, we'll put number 3 over here. We're running out of whiteboard space. Number 3 is going to be an exchange that I have used a little bit extensively, called Zerion. And Zerion's an online exchange, I suppose. They're all online, right? But reasons I have Zerion at number 3, it's relatively user-friendly. It's not terrible to learn. It took me a little bit to kind of figure it out. Just did some poking around. It's not quite as user-friendly as Ledger is, or Coinify. That's why I like those better. They're at number 1. But it's not terrible as far as user interaction goes. The main reason I have it here on this list is because it offers a more diverse range of coins than Coinify. And what I mean by that is, Coinify and Ledger are doing actually a pretty good job of adding more and more coins that you can invest in every week. But really, Zerion is just kind of like whatever you're looking for in crypto, they have it. Whether it be, just investing in Bitcoin, or you're looking for some really specific small alternative token or something that you're really curious and interested about, Zerion almost always has it. And so that's why I would recommend them if you want to get a little bit more serious, if you want to do any sort of real involvement in the industry aside from just storing value or storing wealth. I would highly recommend Zerion as an exchange. This is just an exchange. I should also include that. But I suppose the last point I have on Zerion is that it is integrated with Fortmatic. And that kind of leads pretty well into number 4, which is Fortmatic. I'm running out of whiteboard room. We're going to erase this. Coinbase, goodbye. Fortmatic, I have as last on our list at number 4, specifically and solely for the reason that it's a hot storage wallet. So it's stored online. It requires a constant internet connection. All it really is an account, right? All any of these wallets really are crypto accounts, but it's all online. And Fortmatic, the reason I have it here on this list and the reason I use it is because it offers a lot of integration with a bunch of different crypto, all kinds of sites, right? Anywhere you would want to go to use your crypto. For me specifically, it's NFTs. So Fortmatic has a lot of integration with NFT websites and stuff. So it's integrated with lots of platforms. And because it's integrated with lots of platforms, like I said, it just allows for sort of an easier transfer of crypto, easier transfer of funds. Like I said, I'm really big into NFTs, so it's integrated, for example, with OpenSea, which is a really big NFT site. It's the largest NFT marketplace available right now. And so that's one of the reasons why I would go with Fortmatic. If you're actually looking to get into moving, buying things with crypto or anything like that, in the early stages, where some of these other, not Bitcoin, alternative coins, I suppose, when they're less widely accepted, Fortmatic just makes it a little bit easier. So with that being said, those are my personal recommendations over wallets and exchanges. Steps in terms of getting involved in crypto, right? Do your research, number 1. Number 2, you need a wallet. And then number 3, you need to pick an exchange. Lots of these wallets are integrated with exchanges like Ledger and Coinify are. Zerion and Fortmatic are also integrated, but that's just because Fortmatic's integrated with just about everything. So we'll go ahead and keep moving on. That was personal recommendations for wallets and exchanges. And the last thing we're going to get into, which is definitely my favorite part of this entire video, this entire conversation, are the coins that I recommend, the actual cryptocurrencies that I would recommend to anyone looking to get into it, and why I recommend them. Or why they're exciting to me, I suppose. Why I like them. Coins I like. So we're going to start. Number 1 on our list of coins I like is the big dog, the top dog, the grandfather, the granddaddy of them all, Bitcoin. BTC is the symbol. Number 1, Bitcoin. Reasons I have Bitcoin as number 1 here. Same reasons why I pretty much had Coinbase at number 2, right? Because size matters, and Bitcoin is the biggest. So it's the biggest, it's the oldest. It's founded in 2009, so that was really when cryptocurrency became a thing. And yeah, Bitcoin was the first one to be created and start being mined. Biggest, like I said, oftentimes just equates to a little bit more stability, maybe in terms of crypto. It's all investment, so it's all, for the most part, speculation. But I suppose, yeah, size might mean it's more stable. Question mark? Who knows? But it's definitely the biggest. And since it's the biggest, I think it makes a pretty incredible store of value. And what I mean by that, right? When you think about other stores of value that people typically reference, I think gold's one of the biggest. Gold, people will invest in gold because it holds its value really well, and even appreciates it a little bit. Has appreciated actually quite a bit over the last few years. Bitcoin, I would argue, is actually better than gold. Bitcoin not only holds its value relatively, it is pretty volatile. But that being said, gold also hasn't seen, 5,000% profit margin over the last 5 years. So not only does Bitcoin hold its value relatively compared to gold, its profit margins are also way larger. It's also, I guess, the last reason I have Bitcoin on this list. It's becoming much more widely accepted as a currency, just across the board. And just for example, right, over the last couple of months, it came out, you can buy a Tesla with Bitcoin, which I know, it's just one model of car, but you can buy a car with cryptocurrency now, which I think is pretty cool. And similarly, I guess another Elon Musk company, PayPal, also accepts Bitcoin. So that being said, anyone that accepts PayPal, just by association, also accepts Bitcoin. So that ends up being like 29 million vendors or something across the United States, which is getting larger and larger every day, right? So just recently, this last week, we also saw Louisiana issued like a formal commendation to the creator of Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. It's actually a pseudonym, like an alias. No one really knows who the guy is. But they issued this formal commendation for like creating this whole new form of currency. And I think it's the city of Jackson, Tennessee. Shout out to my Tennessee people. But the city of Jackson, Tennessee is actually looking into paying municipal city employees in Bitcoin, or at least offering that as an option, which, like I said, gets back to kind of why I'm big into this, which is personal liberty, right? The ability to make my own decisions and live life according to my own terms. If I wanted to get paid in Bitcoin, I think that'd be a pretty cool option to have. That's why Bitcoin is number one. Incredible store of value, and it's becoming much, much more widely accepted. So if you're looking to get into crypto, I think Bitcoin's a good place to start. The second one we have on our list, number 2, is Ethereum, which is ETH. Ethereum's arguably just as large, if not larger, than Bitcoin. The price discrepancy, or the difference in price, is actually like massive, right? Bitcoin, I think, is currently trading around 50 to 51K per coin, and Ethereum's down around 2,500 a coin, I think. Anyway, the big difference, I suppose, between the two, and the reason why I have Ethereum on number 2, is because it's got a slightly different structure to the blockchain. And so each of these coins have their own blockchain that they're mined on, and so each of them are set up kind of slightly differently. Bitcoin has, like, their blockchain has been copied by almost every subsequent coin to come after it. Ethereum is up there as well, but the Ethereum chain specifically is structured a little bit differently, in that it allows for tokens and other objects, I suppose, to be attached to the blockchain. So this is also why I have it on number 2, and why I like it so much, because it allows for some of these other digital assets and digital items to be around, to exist. Allows for tokens, which are NFTs. Well, NFTs are types of tokens, and we'll get into that more in the third video. It's also, I suppose, just because of the way the blockchain is structured slightly differently, allows for these tokens to be attached to the blockchain. Also makes it a little bit easier to convert it into other cryptocurrencies, Ethereum in particular. Allows for a little bit more liquidity between currencies. Just for example, right? Like, we have all these different alternative coins and tokens that are popping up now, and a good portion of them trade in Ethereum. So it's just it's kind of one of those, if you want to get into the nitty gritty of cryptocurrency, moving it around, buying NFTs, taking out loans and stuff like that, or making loans, I should say. With cryptocurrency, Ethereum is going to be probably your main coin. That being said, I think the biggest recommendation I can make for Ethereum is if you do plan on doing anything like that, just carry a balance in carry an Ethereum balance in every crypto wallet that you plan on using. One of my biggest, I don't know, concerns or biggest issues that I've run into is I'll be doing something and find an NFT on OpenSea or something that I want to buy that sells in some weird, offhand coin, alternative coin, like wrapped Ethereum or something. And, it's got a good price and I like it and I want to buy it, and I go in to buy it. And then all of a sudden I get an error that says, sorry, you have insufficient funds for network fees. Network fees on the Ethereum chain are called gas prices. Kind of irrelevant, but just throwing that out there. So yeah, you just run into this issue where you don't have the Ethereum to cover the gas price or the network fees. And so what ends up happening is, you have Ethereum in another account and you're like, oh, I could just transfer it over, but you're going to end up paying double gas price at some point because you'll pay gas price for every transaction you make through the blockchain. So it's just better to carry a balance in every wallet that you have if that's what you plan on doing. If you're using your wallets and crypto is just a store of value, it's not necessary to carry an Ethereum balance. But we'll go ahead and keep moving here. The last two coins that we're going to talk about that we have on our list here, I suppose are really the definition of altcoins, of alternative coins, which, just so we're all on the same page, alt just means not Bitcoin. So anything that's not Bitcoin. So technically Ethereum's an altcoin. It's just large enough that, I don't know, I don't really consider it an altcoin. But anyway, number three on our list is actually what I started on, what I got going with, which is Litecoin, LTC. And the reason why I like Litecoin is because it's one of the bigger altcoins, I suppose. So once again, size does kind of matter, at least in my opinion. Bigger altcoin. That being said, it is still relatively easy to get into. One of the biggest misconceptions I think that I've heard, and just biggest questions that I've gotten is I want to get into cryptocurrency, but I can't afford a Bitcoin, right? Very few people can. They're trading at $50,000, right? Which is just insane. So my first point, I guess, to that question or to that comment is you don't have to buy a whole coin. These aren't shares of stock, so you don't have to buy them in round numbers and whole integers. You can buy any denomination of any cryptocurrency. You could buy, 1 bit penny. You could buy 1/1,000,000th of a Bitcoin. Totally up to you and how much you want to invest. If you do want to buy a whole coin, though, Litecoin's one that I would recommend. It's currently trading between $200 to $350 a coin, and with decent profit margins, right? Like I said, this is the first coin that I ever invested in. I bought a coin for $200 and sold it for $250. So, $50 of profit, and we're chilling. And it fluctuates pretty consistently between $350 and $200. So, it's all investment. Like I said, it's all speculation, but relatively stable in terms of Litecoin. And like I said, easier to get into. And the last coin that we have on our list, which is, I know, the one that you've all been waiting for, is Dogecoin. Because who doesn't love a good Doge? We all love Dogies. But in all seriousness, no, I really do like Dogecoin as an investment, because it's just got a ton of potential. It's an altcoin with tons of potential. And just a little bit, I guess, of background on Dogecoin, right? It is a meme coin, I suppose. It started as a meme on the internet, on Reddit, and these guys just made a meme with the Doge meme with the Shiba Inu, and they were like, oh, this would be funny if we turned it into a cryptocurrency, and someone actually set up a blockchain to start mining it. And they kept mining it. It started about a year ago, 2 years ago or so, somewhere in there. And then Elon Musk and Mark Cuban in particular picked it up, started tweeting about it, started sharing memes about it, increased the popularity, and what was just a few months ago trading at 8 to 10 cents a coin is now trading at 30 to 40 cents a coin. So I mean, like, it's super easy to get into Dogecoin, and the potential there is seriously untapped. Even over the last few months, we've seen a 400% return on that coin, which is incredible. I suppose like the last point I really want to make is just the difference, I suppose, between Bitcoin and these altcoins. Like I said, altcoins are just anything that's not Bitcoin. And so I use Bitcoin particularly just as a store of value. I just use it as a savings account. It's nice to see the price go up every now and then, but for the most part, I just store value there. It's not, since it's already pretty much hit its big boom, it's not one that's really going to make you rich anytime soon. It could. It's going to be a long game, though. It's these alternative coins, I think, really, where you're going to make a lot of money. That being said, I think all of them are good investments. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it, especially now that this week crypto is just in general kind of down a little bit. There's never a bad time to get in. I read a tweet from one of my favorite crypto investors this week that said, you don't have to, you don't have to buy the absolute bottom. You just have to believe that the price is eventually going to rise above your current position, which time and time again has always been true for Bitcoin. And I try to refrain from using absolute terms like always or anything like that. But in this case, Bitcoin has always gone up from where it was previously at. It's trading at about 50K right now, which seems ridiculously high. But like I said, the trend has always been in an upward direction. It's one of the few, I suppose, stores of value that has never really it's fluctuated. It's never trended downwards. So, yeah, I know it's something to be cautious about. Any investment carries risk, right? So definitely do your research. But this is just my personal opinion and how I see it. So yeah, please like and share this video. Subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'll be putting out at least one more video on NFTs. After that, I don't really have any more ideas. So if you guys have ideas or have questions, please shoot them my way. I'll answer them. I'll make more videos about them. Do whatever I can to just be involved. I just like talking about this stuff, like I said. So I'm around, hit me up. Follow me on Twitter if you need to. I post a lot of content there. But yeah, other than that, welcome to crypto.